Hey guys, it's David Clayton again from GuitarBreakdown.com, and today we're going to break down another Guthrie Govan lick. This one's based off of a video that was uploaded recently that was kind of like a promo video for the Aristocrats' upcoming release of their live DVD set. Now, this idea, I'll put a time code, I'll put a link to the video that this is based out of, and of course the time code of where this lick is. But this coincides perfectly with an idea I wanted to talk about for a while, because we've been getting a lot of emails and comments based on the questions how to break up scales. And a lot of people are saying, you know, I know my scales, I know arpeggios, but it sounds like I'm playing one or the other. Or when I do fast licks, it just sounds like I'm running up and down a scale. So this is a perfect example. It's going to be a real quick example because it's just a quick idea. But it shows you how you could take a simple scale that you're just running 16th notes with, but you break it up in little sequences and patterns and, you know, make it sound, you know, just different than just running up and down a scale. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope this fulfills some of those questions that we've gotten and answers a little bit of that. We're going to go further in depth in this kind of thing in some series of lessons, but this is, I think, a really good introduction to this kind of thing. So again, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in a few seconds. Thanks. All right, so to get right into this, this is being played over an F major chord, maybe an F major 7 chord, right? You hear it just resolves right into that, whatever's being played before this. And what he's playing in this, you can think of this as like D minor pentatonic, sort of. Right? Or you could think of F major, right? So now what he ends up doing is a really cool thing. He ends up avoiding the 4th degree in most of this idea, or the 11th, 4th or 11th. And when he does get to throwing that in, he throws in a sharp 4, which is over a major scale. It's a Lydian note, or you can think of it as Lydian mode. So this lick starts out basically taking that 17th fret and bending it up a step and a half. So again, if you have D minor pentatonic, you're bending this note up to this note. So you have, and I think he does actually get 2 of those strings ringing together. So the 17th fret on the E string sort of go bleeding into the 17th fret of the B string, but not that drastically. I think he just barely catches that. And then it's a gradual bend down. So, and that walk down is 17, 16, 15 on the E string. And if you think of this as F major, again, you have your F, your G, and your A, which is your root, 2nd or 9th, and your 3rd. So he's walking down from a major 3rd to a minor 3rd to the 2nd. So that's where that chromatic walk is coming in. So, and if you look at what he's doing, besides that chromatic note, he's literally just walking down that scale, right? Except he's throwing in that chromatic note on the E string. So it's 17, 16, 15 on the E string. Then he goes to 18, 17, 15 on the B string. So, but before he actually goes all the way down that, he goes, so he bends that, he goes to the 18th fret of the B string. When he gets to the 17th fret of the B string, he bends it up and down a half step. Then he goes down to that 15th fret. So that's just a cool little way of making a scale a little different than just, right? You throw in a chromatic note, and then you add a bend somewhere in there. So you have, then he goes down to the G string and plays the 17th fret to the 14th fret. Then he goes to the D string and he plays the 17th fret. So then he does this rollover where he goes from the 17th fret of the D string to the 17th fret of the G string. So then once he rolls over to that note, he goes down to this note on the 14th fret of the D string. And then he plays the 14, 15 on the D string. So the whole thing slow is. So he goes 14, 15 on the D string, then 14 on the G string. He does another chromatic note or movement, which is very similar, exact same thing as the top one, but this time he's doing it on the B string. So it's 17, 16, 15 on the B string. So the whole thing is. So after it walks down chromatically from the 17th, 16th, 15th fret on the B string, it rolls over from the 17th fret on the B string to the 17th fret on the G string. So that whole thing is. Then it does a similar movement where it rolls over here, then it does the opposite roll over here. So it's the 14th fret on both the D and the G string. So that whole thing is. Then it does this cool little thing where it goes the 14th fret to the 15th fret on the D string to the 14th and 16th fret on the G string. So then he goes back down to that 15th fret of the D string. And he plays 14, 16 again on the G string. So that whole pattern really is. So the whole thing is. Then he goes down to this position and he goes from the 12th fret on the G string, rolls over to the 12th fret of the D string. Then he just walks up the scale from 12, 14, 12, 14 on the D and the G string. So the whole thing. He goes down here and he goes to the 10th fret of the D string, to the 10th fret of the G string, to the 12th fret of the G string. So the whole thing. Then he just moves down again just a little bit to the 9th fret of the G string, and he goes 9, 10, 9 on the G string. Walks down the scale a little bit from the 12, 10 on the D string to the 12th fret of the A string. And again, if you see this as D minor pentatonic, right? With that 9th in there. Okay, so the whole thing is. And then here he just, when he gets to that note, he just does this thing where he rolls to the 12th fret, from the 12th fret of the A string to 12th fret of the D string, back to the 12th fret of the A string, to the 10th fret of the D string. So walks up from the 10th to the 11th to the 12th on the A string. Now again, I'm sure that lick obviously goes further and he probably does more stuff, but that was what was in this video. And it's a good place to end because, again, if you're over like an F major 7 chord or an F major chord, you have your F, G, A. So you're on your major third, right? And that's why that kind of resolves nicely to that.